What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, choking on some toast, bringing you guys our semifinals team builder against Haamu and the Helsinki Heat. Not a match that I'm entirely looking forward to. I kind of really hate battling Haamu, so especially in a rematch in semis, this is just going to be complete AIDS. So if the live commentary reflects that, please don't hold it against me. I'm going to do my best to not make it like the live commentary from Season 3 that I ended up scrapping, and I'm going to do my best to not make it like the live commentary from this season in Week 7 that I still ended up posting, and I feel a little bit bad about posting because I did not react in a very professional manner in that video. Let's run through Hamu's team here. He made one drop, but he's got Tapu Fini that he brought last time, Volcarona, Heliolisk that he brought last time, Alolan Muck, Swellow, Abomasnow, Mega Scissor that he brought last time, Hippowdon that he brought last time, Kommo-o that he brought last time. I didn't see any of the Kommo-o set last time. Espeon and Ditto. He ended up dropping Lycanroc midday that he did bring last time in order to check my Talonflame for Ditto, which I think is still a very potential bring in terms of checking my Talonflame. Priority users, he's got the Alolan Muck with Shadow Sneak, Swellow with Quick Attacks, Mega Scissor with Bullet Punch, and Espeon with Quick Attack. Hazard setting, he's got the Hippowdon with Rocks and Kommo-o with Rocks, so one less Rocker on the team. Kind of a little bit less to worry about there. The Hippo is definitely going to carry the Rocks if it comes this week. Removal options in the Finny with Defog, Volcarona with Defog, Swellow with Defog, and Mega Scissor with Defog. Rocks are a reasonable bring against his team. It's just good chip against a lot of stuff, honestly. Despite him having a couple resists in the Hippo and the Kommo-o, it's really solid damage against Swellow, Volcarona, and Abomasnow. Espeon can obviously prevent rocks going up, and that's something I got to keep in mind if the Espeon does show up, that it's obviously going to be a magic bounce. 4 times weaknesses, he's got the Volcarona to rock, Abomasnow to fire, Mega Scissor to fire, and Kommo-o to fairy. I believe I'm covering almost all of these. I'm avoiding the fairy one entirely and running Psychic on my Starmie, which you can see over here on the screen, instead of Dazzling Gleam, just because Psychic's going to be able to hit the Tapu Fini as well. So I'm not super concerned about clicking Dazzling Gleam against Kommo-o when I can just click Psychic. And it's more than likely going to be a Roselli Berry anyways, but I am still covering it with the DNC. I don't think... I've got the Rock covered. I might have Fire covered somewhere. I think I've got Fire covered in a couple places, potentially. So I do have all those 4 times weaknesses covered. Now, in terms of what I'm expecting him to bring, I'm not entirely sure. So he ended up bringing quite the team against me, and he kind of just smashed me with Hippowdon. He gave me Finny early, which was super weird because it would have given me the opportunity to status Hippo, and he played really aggressively with his Hippowdon against my Vaporeon, which I thought was weird, considering it was the only defensive check that he had left on his team. Volcarona didn't come, and I over-prepped for it last time. Swellow didn't come, and it's quite a large threat. Abomasnow didn't come, and it's also a large threat. Heliolisk did come, and it's a gigantic threat. I have almost nothing for Heliolisk on my team without bringing a Mungus. I can't remember if I brought a Mungus last time. I did not bring a Mungus last time, but he still might think that I'm going to bring a Mungus. Like, the reason I didn't is, even though it walls something like Heliolisk or Finny, it opens up doors for Volcarona and Swellow that I don't like, and Abomasnow and Espeon, so I wasn't a huge fan of that. I'm opting out of the Hoopa this time, for anyone who remembers. Mega Scissor is still a gigantic problem. My fire type's Talonflame, so we're going to have to deal with that. I would not be surprised if he's running Technician HP Rock. He was last time, I believe, and that is something that I've sort of used quite frequently in March Madness, is HP Rock Scissor to catch things like Moltres and Talonflame switching in on it for the Flame Body burns and whatnot. I brought a bulky Talonflame last time, and I'm bringing a bulky Talonflame this time, but we'll talk about that in a second. Hippo, I would maybe be a little bit more surprised to see this time, just because he sort of played really well with it last time, and I think that he's going to imagine that I'll over-prep for Hippo now, which I kind of did. I mean, in a sense, I'm not really over-prepping for it, because I'm bringing the same double water that I brought last time against it. Kommo-o, again, I didn't see the set. It could just be really annoying. Evan and Vander will help me with the build, so shoutouts to them for their feedback. I ended up changing things around, and I'll talk about that when we get to those points. Espeon didn't come last time. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, especially if he's expecting Hoopa. He might not want to bring the Espeon just because of Signal Beam. I'm not sure. Buzzwole obviously has a pretty terrible matchup against him, so he doesn't really need to bring the Espeon to pressure anything in particular, and I'm not sure that it necessarily has the breaking power to get through mons like Bronzong and whatnot that he would want to. I think there's just better options on his team, so I'm sort of iffy on Espeon. It could definitely show up, though. And then Ditto is another Mon that could definitely show up against me. I've got quite a lot of setup on the team. And if he's willing to be a little bit weaker to Buzzwole, he could potentially capitalize on the fact that he might be able to copy a Beast-boosted Buzzwole and just sweep through me, reverse sweep me. So, in terms of what I'm bringing here, we've got the Life Orb Starmie once again with Analytic. It forces a lot of switches, especially into mons like Alolan Muck, so I'm running Scald for the damage there. I'm opting out of Rapid Spin just because I'm not super weak to rocks. I'm a lot more weak to rocks now that I've got Talonflame on the team, which was originally Hoopa. But I'd rather have Recover for the Life Orb recoil and Sand recoil if he's going to bring Sand Hippo. I don't know if it's his best option to bring Sand Hippo, truth be told. I'm not sure about that one, but it might be. I don't know. Power Gem's there for the Volcarona, which potentially might show up this time. It'd be nice to have a boosted way to hit the Volcarona that's 4 times effective rather than just water moves where it might live. I would definitely appreciate being able to hit that with a Power Gem. And I don't really need the move slot there. It could have been Rapid Spin, but it's fine. I don't need something like Ice Beam or anything like that. I could have run Thunderbolt for the Finny, but I think Psychic's going to do fine against that. Could have been HP Fire, but I'd really rather Scald the Scizor, and I'd probably rather Psychic or Power Gem the Abomasnow. Psychic is really only there to break through the Finny. It's a nice way to... and the Como, sorry. But it's a nice neutral hit against quite a few Mons on the team. It's just the Muck and the Espeon, and the Scizor, sorry. But I'd love to burn the Scizor. That'd be pretty amazing. I'm outspeeding the Espeon with the speed investment. Lycanroc midday is gone, so I get a little bit more bulk on the Starmie here when I'm not creeping Lycanroc midday. Max special attack, a little bit of HP investment there. Vaporeon's next. I'm running a Roar, Protect, Wish, Scald set, but I'm fully Spadef. So this is my Volcarona check. This is a Swallow check. It's an Espeon check. It's a Tapu Fini check. I mean, honestly, this Vaporeon is kind of setup fodder for the physically defensive Pokemon, or sorry, the physically offensive Pokemon on his team. I'm not super concerned about that. I'd just love to have the Roar be able to phase all the setup sweepers out, and be able to take special hits. So it's still relevant to me that I can take special hits from Mons like Finny, just in case it's like a Combine Finny and it wants to break through me or something like that, or if the Volcarona does show up this time, then I have a very reliable Volcarona check in the Vaporeon. I brought a physically defensive variant last time. Again, not super concerned about it. Leftovers and Sand are going to cancel out, but I'd rather have the leftovers there so that I stay at a neutral health rather than losing health every single turn from Sand. Protect Wish is very standard. I'd love to be able to Wish Pass into something like Bronzong later in the game, because Bronzong is going to be a very defensive check against a lot of things here. And Scald, even with the Misty Terrain up, is still going to be fine, because he did throw away his Finny against me last time, and we can probably expect that he might do the same thing this time. Alright, last time I was Scarf Chomp, and I didn't really have a way to break through Hippo, physically defensive Hippo. I realized that I didn't need the Scarf. It was relevant to revenge kill like a Volcarona at +1 or a Como at +1, but Volcarona at +1 has a much harder time of breaking through Vaporeon, especially because I can like switch in Vaporeon on the Quiver Dance, and then I can click Protect, Scout the Z move, and then at that point he probably wouldn't be able to kill me with a +1 Giga Drain if he's running Giga Drain. So I can just roar him out at that point. So I feel like I have better checks to a Quiver Dance Volcarona that I don't need to run Scarf Chomp. And so I'm not actually running a Scarfer this game, which might be dangerous, especially considering I have 0 speed control against that Swallow at that point. But sub SD is super solid here. If the Swallow comes, I'm not going to bother setting up a sub. The sub is really only relevant to catch things on a switch. This can punish the Alolan Muck really hard. So if the Alolan Muck does come, then I can either sack something or get Garchomp in some way, and then I get up a sub against that pretty freely. Earthquake, it just breaks a lot of this team. The only Mon immune to Z Earthquake is the Swallow, and Z Earthquake just bops pretty much everything on the team. Neutral Z Earthquake is a roll against the Tapu Fini, I believe. At +2, it absolutely decimates everything on the team, bar, I think, Abomasnow, which is the only ground resist. Yeah, Earthquake's just really solid. If I can catch like a Heliolisk specs locked into an electric move, he's not stupid enough to bring that sort of thing. But Z Earthquake's main purpose is to break through either Tapu Fini, Mega Scizor, or the Hippowdon, and sort of open up a door for some of my offense to be able to hit his offense in a sense. That's the idea. Dragon Claw is there just in case I need it against other Mons, and it's something to hit the Swallow with if the Swallow is somehow slower than me, which would be very weird. I thought about like a sub Salac Garchomp, but it's really irrelevant. Sub in general is not super bueno. I'm running Sandvale just in case he does opt to bring Sand Hippo. I'm not sure he's going to, but I don't think that I'm going to need the Rough Skin all that much. Abomasnow might be his way to check this Scizor now, and so Bronzong is going to be my switch into Abomasnow once I get to that. Next up is Mega Diancie. Oh, I'm outspeeding... What am I outspeeding? I'm outspeeding Volcarona. Mega Diancie's next. Sub, Diamond Storm, Hidden Power, Fire, and Moonblast. Would not be surprised if Swellow is coming. It's going to be specs with Boom Burst, HP Steel, Heat Wave, and U-Turn. That is my absolute best guess on what this Swellow is going to be. It doesn't need the flying coverage, although it could definitely run it for something like Buzzwole or Amoonguss. Potentially Air Slash over U-Turn in that case. It's got to have the HP Steel or it's just walled by Mega Diancie. Especially if I don't Mega Evolve, then it's just completely walled. This is another reason that Volcarona has to run Giga Drain, is because it can't really break through Mega Diancie without it. So I think it's going to be Giga Drain in the last slot. If it's a Quiver Dance set, then it doesn't really have room for Roost. It needs Bug coverage, needs Fire coverage. Wait, what does it need Bug coverage for again? Well, it would probably want Bug coverage for Hoop Unbound, because it's not going to break through it at +1. And that's its way of hitting the Garchomp, unless he opts into HP Ice and then Hoop Unbound. Like an Assault Vest Hoop Unbound might be able to sit on it, but yeah. Diamond Storm hits a lot of this team really well, and it might give me a defense boost against something like the Mega Scizor, which is pretty clutch. I've got HP Fire there as well, obviously to hit the Mega Scizor. I don't know why it reset my IVs, so I have no idea if I'm not actually speed tying as Espeon anymore, because it reset my fucking IVs. Oh my god, that's so infuriating. It's level 100. They're just bottle capped. God, that's annoying. No, I don't want that. I want max all. There we go. Alright, well that's good. I need to repaste this for myself then, because these IVs are wrong, just in case my computer crashes and I have to play on my laptop. Moonblast is there just to hit a bunch of stuff neutrally as well. Like, Diancie's kind of just there to be a problem for him. He doesn't have the best switch-ins to these coverage moves from Diancie. He can revenge it fairly easily, but he doesn't have the best switch-ins to these coverage moves. And so if I'm in a position where I can just sort of like get attacks off with my Diancie, then that's going to be super solid for me. If he doesn't have the Ditto EV'd, or IV'd, sorry, for the correct hidden power, then Bronzong is going to be able to wall my own Mega Diancie, which is super solid. Bronzong should also be able to wall my own Garchomp, which is good if he wants to copy my own Garchomp. That's the reason I have Sub, by the way, over anything else, is just in case the Ditto does come and I can get up behind a Sub, then I'm not going to care as much about the Swallow, because I'd rather put myself in a situation where I can't get revenge killed, like revenge swept, I guess, by a +2 Garchomp. Bronzong is next here with the Toxic, Psychic, Stealth Rock, and Hidden Power Fire. Originally I had Earthquake over Psychic to hit the Heliolisk, because this was like my Heliolisk answer. It's very Spadef for the Heliolisk. I don't need to be more than this to wall my, the Abomasnow. In a sense, Mega Scizor is not going to be able to touch me very much, and this will be able to deal with the Espeon. Mega Scizor with like bug coverage and knockoff is still going to be really annoying, but I can always pivot into my Talonflame on that. I don't really care about losing my Talonflame's item all that much, but it's fairly relevant. So yeah, Toxic is there to Toxic the Hippo, Toxic basically anything, honestly. Just without the Misty Terrain around, of course. Psychic is for the Como, so that it can't set up on me. Once again, that's what the Psychic's there for. It's hitting a lot of stuff really hard. Same reason as Starmie. Rocks punish a lot of his team, like I mentioned prior, and then Hidden Power Fire is there for the Mega Scizor. With this investment, Hidden Power Fire is always going to two-shot Mega Scizor. So I got in a scenario where I wasn't able to two-shot the Mega Scizor last time with Hidden Power Fire, and he ended up just like roosting all the way up with his Mega Scizor against my Bronzong, and it was quite the problem. But this way, he's not going to have leftovers, so we're going to be able to either stall out his roosts or kill him, and I think that that's super solid, or at least force him out where he's weakened. So I've changed the EV spread up to do that against the Scizor. Now, I brought a very bulky Talonflame last time. I'm bringing a similarly bulky Talonflame this time. The 4 defense EVs actually do matter, by the way. It matters on some rolls, so I'm running the 4 in defense there. Outspeeding the Swallow with the speed investment with Gale Wings, Sharpbeak, Brave Bird. So obviously at full health, this is a priority move, so I can always revenge kill something like Volcarona if I come in at full. Depends on if he is bringing rocks and then values rocks. This is a nice way to revenge kill a +1 Kommo as well if it's not behind a sub. Heliolisk punishes this, so there's obviously a problem there. But Sharpbeak boosting my Brave Bird is going to be super, super solid. At +2 with the Sharpbeak, I will be able to break through physically defensive Scissor and two-shot it, which is very cool. Thought about a Flame Body variant, but it's not super relevant with the Misty Terrain anyways, so it's not the end of the world if I can deal with that. Taunt lets me 1v1 something like a Hippowdon, unless it's got Rock Slide, which I'm definitely going to scout for, by the way. There's no chance that I'm not scouting for Rock Slide on Hippo, just to see if I can 1v1 it with my Talonflame. So protect there is not a bad option either in terms of the last move, but Taunt gives me a little bit more leeway against something like a Lowland Muck. If it is a Curse Muck variant, then I can always taunt it, and I don't have to deal with Curse shenanigans. I can always taunt the Finny away from defogging my rocks away, or taunt the Hippo from setting rocks, taunt the Kommo from setting up, taunt the Mega Scissor from roosting, things along those lines. So I felt like Taunt had a lot of viability here, and I don't really see anything that he would want to run Mental Herb on, so there's not a ton of counterplay to Taunt besides just switching, which in a sense gives me a free SD. If he switches into Heliolisk like I would expect, then I would probably just click Brave Bird to get damage on that thing. Alright, sorry about that. Last but not least, what I'm not bringing. Okay, Buzzwole, I mentioned earlier, it's very weak to this team, same as Amoonguss, both of them offer a lot of free turns for mons like Volcarona and Swallow, which I don't want to give. Buzzwole as well gives free turns for Heliolisk, which I really don't want to give. Rotom Frost was on my mind because Rotom Frost can actually deal with this team fairly effectively. HP Fire, Blizzard, Electric coverage does a lot to this team. It does a lot. Opting out of it because I don't want to have to try and hit Blizzards against the Hippo. I don't actually know if Blizzard's chance to hit is like nerfed in Sand or not. I don't care enough to check, and so I'm not bringing the Rotom because I just don't want to deal with that sort of stuff. In a sense, it could be a decent check to the Heliolisk, but Hyper Voice is still very prevalent, so I'd rather just have the Bronzong and force him to run Dark Pulse. He's definitely going to have Dark Pulse, by the way. He's definitely going to have like HP Ice, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, Volt Switch / Hyper Voice is kind of what I'm anticipating for the last move there. That's what I'm thinking. Hoopa was originally on the team, actually. Banded Hoopa. I had Destiny Bond on it, which was really cool. It was really cool tech for like the Muck. If he did want to switch it in, then I could Destiny Bond, force him to not attack, and I would get a free switch out. Or I would outspeed Destiny Bond on the turn that he kills me, sort of thing, and then be able to take the Muck down with me, which is something interesting. I had enough EVs to live like Mega Scissor Bullet Punch, and I would outspeed it. And then he might like kill me with U-turn. So that was kind of the plan, is that I was running Destiny Bond Hoopa to just like take the Mega Scissor down with me. But we're not bringing the Hoopa anymore. It was banded. It's not on the team anymore. Masquerain, I sort of had a similar qualm with it last time. It's kind of good here. Like, it's low-key kind of good here, but I'm not bringing it. And so the only game that it might see the entire season is the quarterfinals match, where it got an attack off and didn't even set webs. I've sort of just had the threat of webs all season. I think a better Weber might have changed that if I had maybe not gone Vaporeon, taken Araquanid in Vaporeon's place, and then maybe another Wish Passer somewhere else down the line on the team. I feel like Vaporeon's been decent enough that I didn't need to do that sort of thing, though. Yeah, so that's it. This may or may not be my final team builder. I'm not really optimistic about this match. I've got some tools to be able to win. Again, the Heliolisk is going to be a gigantic problem. Mega Scissor is a gigantic problem. The Muck, if I can't position around it correctly, is going to be a gigantic problem, and so is basically his entire team, honestly. I don't know, man. His entire team is just fucked. He's definitely got the matchup. There's no doubt in my mind that the matchup is in his favor, and so I'm going to try and pull out the underdog win here. I've never beaten Haamu. At the moment, I believe I'm 0-2. Depending on who he is in ABDL, I might be 1-2. I might be 0-3. It really depends on who he is. And yeah, so that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys for the match.